Ni ska vara hjärtligt välkomna till en liten introduktion och ska vi kalla det kanske en buyers guide inför den här delen kopplad till hårdvara som kommer lite senare i kursen. Och jag säger också välkommen till Neda. Welcome
Tack så
Neda.
mycket.
Du pratar ju bra svenska och förstår bra svenska nu,
Ja,
men
jag förstår svenska, men ja.
ja,
Jag heter Neda och välkommen alla till kursen IoT. Idag pratar jag om hardware. Om du behöver shoppa. Så
Ja, men bra. Och ja, vi sa det här innan, I think we will switch to English somewhere along the line. And I thought before we begin and deep dive into the parts regarding the hardware. So Neda, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Neda? Where are you from? What's your background? Yeah, things like that.
okay. I'm Neda, and I'm from Iran. But I am working here in Sweden almost 2.5 years in Linné University as a postdoctoral researcher, and I have some teaching and of course most of the part research. My teacher part is teaching IoT, as I had this course last year also in spring. I'm so happy that again I have this opportunity to teach a student and get them to know about IoT. So yeah.
And what was your main field when you did your PhD?
My field, my master was cloud computing, and my PhD was distributed system, mostly focused on Hadoop or Spark. But here I am working in this project, IoT Lab for SMF or SME in English, small and medium-sized enterprises. So we are mostly working with the companies and give them idea how they can do work with the IoT, and they can try their if they have any idea, they can try it, or if they come here and they can meet each other and they see their business model and then know more about the IoT. How can they apply this in their project? So yeah.
And that has been
pilot cases. Yeah.
And that has been a lot of interesting cases. I mean, we have had everything from known tourist facilities like Bödasand and Astrid Lindgren's
Exactly.
Lab.
We had many different companies that they came here. Like we have one company, Bilab, that mostly work in Tito Every, and they wanted to measure temperature, humidity, or pressure, or what is called the other one that I forgot. They inside the beehives that they are digitally connected, all of them, all over the country, almost 200 of them. So it was one of the pilot cases. That another one was about Aquatech, that they wanted to QTF, that they wanted to measure the when there is needed to change the filter, that this is connected to the pipe, that water comes with the pressure and goes out, and then so the idea was that okay, you need to use the pressure sensor that recognize when it's needed to change the filter, because if the pressure coming is high and then the water that goes out is less, then this is a time for sure to change that. So it was some idea, and then I talked about these pilot cases in the course in the I remember it was the lecture one that and they can listen to it, and I talked about almost 7 or 8 of them. So we are doing more pilot cases. So of course it it will be more and more. And nowadays, is I think 20 or 25 of them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. And
quite fun.
yeah, and for you that is on, I mean, we have both distance students and campus students, but for those of you who has visited us or are campus students, you know where Neda is sitting. You are sitting just, we are looking at each other actually, but there is a wall between us. So yeah.
Exactly.
And we also have the lab, and you are kind of one of the ones that are a bit responsible for our IoT lab that you find, if you are on campus, you find it where
In
this,
front of my office or your office.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. The door
yeah.
is.
And we have a lot. I mean, and that could be a good thing to remember when we talk about hardware. If you are in Kalmar, you can always use the lab if you need to do some soldering or you need to borrow some cables or sensors or whatever. We have big resources here. But we will today talk about what you will need for the course to buy for yourself. And I mean, what you said, Neda, it's a good introduction basically to IoT. I mean, of course, you will have an introduction to IoT, but it is about connecting stuff in the real world, basically.
Exactly, as its name shows, Internet of Things. It means that everything is connected with each other without human inference. So, and they can talk to each other, and then you will have all of this data, and you can access all the data that you need, and you can control it. For example, you as a user, you write this, prepare everything with the hardware, with the code and stuff you have, and you connect it to that thing, and that thing become smart. So this data will be sent to the cloud where you can control everything remotely. Then it's location free. I mean, anywhere you are, you have access to that data, and both monitoring and controlling you can do. It's all about the IoT. Of course, you can do a lot of analysis on the data. Either it can be on the devices that you have. In this case, that I am going to talk about is Pico or Pico W with a wireless chip, or either it can be on the data that is already sent to the cloud, and you can do analysis on that data and then get some knowledge that, for example, let's say you want to predict something. Let's say you get energy data and you want to predict what will be the usage in 2 minutes later. And then, this is all about getting data and do analysis and get knowledge about it, and then make decision.
Yeah, and we will start with that before you come in, Neda. We will have a part of the analytics part using Elasticsearch, and Oksana will also be part of that part of the course. And we will have a lot of data now. How do we visualize this data?
Yeah.
How can we work with this data? So we will start with that, and then after that, you will come in and we will.
There is a lot of research question that if a student they are interested to continue in this part, it can be like how they can manage this amount of data based on the application, because it's not like that. Okay, I can use this cloud IoT platform. No, it depends on the application that you are designing, and then how you can do research on different layers of the cloud, or you can consider security, privacy about the data. There are a lot of different research questions that you can come up with a new idea for solving them.
And good that you mentioned that, because I mean you are a researcher in this field, and we have other teachers and scientists in place in Kalmar that also works with those things. And I mean, we haven't touched upon this in the web developer program. We haven't actually used hardware at all. This will basically be the first time we use something else than software. But I mean, we also have the parallel program them, the computer engineers, their focus is more on the hardware side, and they start to do things with this already in the first year, I think.
Please.
And so I mean, this is not a dead end. I mean, this is just dipping your toes in this field and starting and learning. And I mean, there are so much you can do if you are interested in this after this course. There are many things to follow up, and I thought we could actually start with the most natural following up of this course, because there is a summer course, and you are also, I think, Neda, involved in this summer course, tillämpad Internet of Things.
We have running the summer course for 4 years up to now, and this year it will be the 5th year that we will have summer course, and it's really fun, and you will learn a lot. When I say a lot, it means really a lot, because you will learn how to different way of connecting, different platforms, different protocols, and different programming languages, how you write it, and it's really good, and different projects. That is really fun when me or my colleague as teachers, we see the projects, and they are really nice ideas that students they try to implement with IoT. And this summer course, I'm not sure about the exact day, but it's always the first week of the June.
Yeah. So this one starts basically when our course ends. So it's starting on the Monday after. So it, I mean, for you taking this course, this could be just a continuation, basically. You just, okay, now you have dipped your toes, you have an introduction to Raspberry Pi Pico, and then you go into this course, and then you can do whatever you like. I mean, there have been people that are monitoring their lizards in like terrarium way. There are people trying to control the water flow in the gardens with things like that. That has
Smart
been
garden,
different type of, like, I think we had something was like an alarm that when the fridge was opened in the night was something like, oh, don't go eat at night, don't go eat at night. Although many crazy stuff happening.
And
in this
we had
course.
also pet feeder, smart pet feeder.
Yes.
They control when, and they schedule it, when it should be open and when the pet should come and eat. And then it was quite nice project.
And good to know about this course. So Frederick is kind of he is kind of the one that is what's it called, coordinating the IoT projects for us, and he's the course manager for that course. But good to know for all of you taking this course in the web developer program is that the subject for this one is actually, it's a DT course. It's not a DV course. It's a datateknik course instead of a datavetenskap. That means that this course will count as a course in another subject when you apply for your exam later on. So it could be good to know that you can actually use this course as a course in another subject. You will apply to this just as you apply to any other course. I think it opens like the 15th of March. I think the site is open for it might actually say no, the last, good thing. You need to apply before the 15th of March. Then it's probably opening like the 15th of February or something like that. So if you're interested in this, please apply for this one. There is always quite a few web developer students that is applying for this course. And it's also fun because we have teacher assistants, at least the last few years, we have had teacher assistants from all over Sweden and even Europe. So we have teachers from different universities, both in Sweden and in Europe, and also teacher assistants that help out from different universities. So it's a really nice way, and there is a vibrant Discord community around this course. So there is a Discord channel just for this course, and it's like every student that has taken the course is in that Discord channel. So it's a good way of meeting other interesting people in the field as well. Yeah. So this is not a dead end. That's what I wanted to say. This is just like the beginning. It could be the beginning of something. Yeah. So Nera, in this course, what just really brief, what will the students do in the course?
Okay, the student will learn how to write code for get to run the Pico in the MicroPython programming. And I'm not sure if now I need to talk about the hardware that they need, but they will learn how to write this code for the Pico and get it to run, and then connected it to the cloud using Wi-Fi, and send the data to the cloud, and then they will use a cloud platform like 1DV027 to visualize their data, and then they can control it using the widget that they have. They design there, and then and then control the data, and then that's whole the thing, sending, monitoring, and then controlling. So this is a loop. And then in this course they will learn a lot about I talked about MicroPython programming. If they don't know, they will get to know. And I talked about the different hardwares that we have and different protocols that we have. For example, we have different ways of connecting this to is called I2C, in short, integrated circuit. We have SPI, and we have UART. They really need to listen this course, and this is very important, how they need to work with this kind of protocols. And they will learn about the different layers of IoT stack, that it is about how the wireless communication protocols and different layers of these, like IP, like MQTT, and they are the protocol that is important, because mostly when we work with a connection with Wi-Fi, we are using HTTP, but for IoT devices that they are very concentrate in terms of memory and in terms of CPU, so it's better to use the protocol that is connect all these IoT devices together in a easier way and efficient way, that is MQTT. And then they will learn also about what is called, after this connection, cloud platform. I introduced them some of them, and like Mosquito, like MQTT Broker, and other platforms. But the mostly focus is 1DV027. But if they are interested, they can work with the other stuff. Is not they are not at all limited, but for the exercise, the assignment that they have, they need to work with the things that I mentioned there. But other stuff is that they will learn totally about Pico. It's one lecture that it explains how many pins it has. In terms of which one is connected to, which one is VCC, which one is ground, and GPIO, SPI, I2C, and they will learn about it, and they will learn about categories RP2040. That is a chip. It's here using Pico, and it's not expressive. And then I explain all of this here in lecture 2 about this hardware, if they need to know. And also they will learn about what was it? Because based on the previous course that I had, I noticed that they have problems in different how say different terms that they are using interchangeably. That is not right. For example, they say that okay, because in my slide, lecture 2, page 41, I mentioned that okay, you need to buy this kind of hardwares. Let me mention it here. It's very important. Okay, I said that okay, you need to buy a Raspberry Pi Pico or Raspberry Pi Pico W. W means that it has wireless, is a short term of wireless. This is the chip that shows that it is wireless. This is Raspberry Pi. I can.
Yeah,
I,
it's and
yeah.
I mean, what is that?
Pi
Is it
Pico.
like a computer or what? How do we like define that?
Yeah, we have a Raspberry Pi Pico, that is this one, and we have Raspberry Pi that is exactly computer. It just doesn't have the monitor. You are not needed to buy this. This is called Raspberry Pi, but this is called Raspberry Pi Pico. So you need to buy this one. That
Yeah.
it doesn't have any. It's very constant in terms of CPU, and its CPU is based on RP2040, and it has a very very small amount of RAM. That it is 264 kilobyte, and you need to buy it. If you buy it now, it's better because you will buy it in a solder header one, and if you buy it unsoldered like this, you need to make it soldered. So it's better to buy it soldered, and it makes your life easier. And this is male header solder, and we have female header solder, as you can see is dot, and this is like this one. So
And we recommend a male header solder, I
yeah,
guess, if you are going to use a bread. We will get into breadboards in a bit. We will just
exactly.
stay with yeah.
And they need a breadboard if you are going to connect stuff. And this is how you can see that this is the male header, and I just put it inside the breadboard. And if and they need also some jumper wires or hook wires, and they are 3 different types. Either this is female, or it is male. Both side are the like this, or it is one side female and one side male. So for their work, I think it is not much expensive, but they need to at least female and male if they want. But most of the time, male, it's enough, and it works if they have breadboard and they have the Pico. And also they will need a temperature sensor that it measure temperature and humidity. And
that is the task of the assignment, basically, to be able to measure temperature and humidity.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you can do that in your wherever environment you have at home that you want to measure this in.
Persis. And they need also macro USB, and this is macro USB, and it's connected to your Pico, like here.
Yep.
And then this side is connected to your laptop, or any other computer that you have. I mean, it can be this one that is you connected this. But we are not going to touch. This is like a computer. This is a laptop.
Yeah, and
so,
when you have that Raspberry Pi there, just to be really, really clear on that, you should not like think of Raspberry Pi as just a better version of the Pico. So don't go buy the Raspberry Pi. You might probably already maybe have a Raspberry Pi, but we're not going to use that in the course. We classify that as a computer. However, the Raspberry Pi Pico, the small one, we classify as a microcontroller. And it's a microcontroller that you are supposed to program in this course.
This is the MCU. It's called MCU. And that other one is called SPC. We are not going to single board computer. No. MCU, you need to buy Pico. And Pico wireless, you need this one, this chip on that, because it needs to be connected to network. If you buy the other one that doesn't have any chip, then of course you cannot connect to the, because we have Pico and we have Pico W. The one that has W, you need to buy that one. So yeah, it's all about it. But I also need to mention that in the list of necessary hardware, I mentioned LEDs. You don't need to buy LEDs. This is just for the test. They are the LEDs. You don't need to buy this. It was just about that on Pico, you will have LED on board, we call it. LED on board is here. And when you are programming for checking that it works correctly, it will start to blinking. And I mentioned it in the first course. So just that is enough. And inside it has temperature sensor, that if you want to work extra with this and measure the temperature, because we are going to buy temperature and humidity sensor separately, though that it exists here, but we need to buy it. So the overall is buying this stuff, these three, and some jumper wires, and and the Wi-Fi gateway you need to have. I mean, that you be able to connect to the net to the internet.
Yeah, and you also you showed the breadboard. I mean, so this, if you have the male version of the connectors on the Raspberry Pi, you can place it in the breadboard, and we can actually see behind you. You have a breadboard with some jumper wires and some things connected. And
exactly like this. For example, let's say that we are going to work with this pin. Then you are connected in here, and here you connect it to the VCC, and it's like this pin is getting 5 voltage or 3.3 voltage. So this is just an example that you need to connect this module together. So what else I mentioned here in list of necessary hardware? Yeah, so a Raspberry Pi Pico W, a breadboard, micro USB cable, male jumper wires, and your computer. And you don't need LEDs, and you don't need resistor. This is resistor. You don't need to buy any resistor. And temperature sensor, that this one is called DHT11, the blue one. We have DHT22, that it is white. And I think last year a student, they had problem with working with that white one, because inside it there is a pull-up resistor, but it didn't work and they couldn't connect it. But I mostly suggest to buy this one, DHT11, and get the library for that. That it exists everywhere, and you can easily work with it. So that's all the hardware that they need.
Yeah, and where to buy this then? Well, we can actually just have a look. I mean, there are several sites on the internet. You can probably find many things on like Shell and Company or some local electronic facility store. But of course, there are a lot of people or stores online that sell this hardware. We have worked with ElectroKit before. They are Swedish-based, I think in Lund or Malmö, and it has been working really, really well. So I will just show ElectroKit what to look for here. But you can, of course, buy this wherever you like. You can find it on Amazon or wherever. So just Google it. And it's not very expensive. We can start with the Pico. So I will actually write Pico WH, and we can have a look at that. But here we find the Raspberry Pi Pico WH. Price for this one is 109. So I mean, it's not expensive at all. Remember, the W was for wireless, so then we can see the wireless chip. So make sure that you have the wireless version, and H was with headers. So in this case, the male headers that you see on the picture. Last year, I remember this was out of stock, so everybody had to buy the one without headers and solder headers on manually. Of course, if you want to do that, you can do that. So please feel free. But in right now, there at least Electrokit has 166 in stock. Often when you can find alternatives, of course. Here you have the Pico W without headers, then it's 98. So I mean the difference is price is nothing basically. And here you have the Pico H, so that is without the wireless chip, but with headers. But don't buy that one. Stick with the W one. You also find breadboards, and breadboards are more or less the same price as the Raspberry Pi Pico. But I would recommend buying a breadboard. I mean, a breadboard is something that you can have use for as soon as you work with hardware and stuff like this. It's always good to have a breadboard. So nearby. So go ahead and buy a breadboard as well. There are bigger ones, smaller ones. Well, take one that you think is good. You can also find, let's see, is it called jumper wires or is it called?
Exactly, yes. Jumper wires or hook wires.
Hook wire, jumper wires.
Yeah.
Let's see. You could probably buy this in different kits. Jumper wires, 1-pin, male to male, 10-pack. Male to female 10-pack. There are probably, if you look around, you could probably find test wires, 30 pieces. Oh, though we're only male to male as well. But you could probably find like a kit with different sizes and types. And it's always good to not just only have male types. If you have a breadboard, you would probably most use the male ones since the breadboard is all female. But it could be good to have a look. And then the sensor was called...
the sensor is called the DHT11.
DHT11 it is. Let's see. Here you can find the different versions, it looks like. Let's see. So you have digital temperature and humidity sensor. There is only the sensor, and then it looks like it's mounted on some kind of board. Which one do you recommend?
I think this one is with some resistor.
Yeah,
if
there is a pull-up resistor on that
exactly,
one.
this one. But yeah, this is the one that the student worked with it, and some of them couldn't get to work. The other one just is simple like this one. That I think
this one.
Yeah.
So go ahead and buy this one, and there is the white version as well with the built-in pull-up resistor. Yeah, and of course, if you want, you can shop around. There are many different types of sensors. You can use motion sensors, and you can use so there is a lot. But for this part of the course, you only need this sensor. You don't need other sensors. But if you're continuing in the summer project, then you might need or want to have completely different sensors. But I mean, you can always order them afterwards as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have some question here. Is this? What do you mean by printed? You mean?
Is this information in printed form? Yes, you have the information on under Internet of Things hardware. You will find the what you need. So you can find it there. Is the USB connection only for power supply? Good question. Is it?
Yeah, this one is also for both, for programming and for powering via programming via UART. You need to connect this like this, and this side will be connected to your computer. That will get 5 voltage from USB, and from this you can send your upload your code here, and upload your code here, and then this Pico will get to work. This is for both programming and power supply.
Yeah. So both good. How many jumper wires do we need? Not that many, honestly. However, they can break sometimes, and it's good to have some spares.
Maybe it doesn't work. Exactly. It's like if you look at this in front of you, the grid face in front of you, then from left side, I am showing to the student, from left side is VCC, and then this is data, this we are not going to work, is not working. I mean, we don't need it. And this is the ground. So let's say 3 jumper wires at least you need. But think about it, maybe it's broken, or maybe you want to test another things at the same time. So I don't know. This is a little difficult question to say exactly how many you
But
buy.
like I think you cannot buy them in lesser packs than 10. So buy at least 10, I would say, just to have some spares. At least 10 male to male. But if you find a kit with like 30 different ones, I think it's pretty good. They are really cheap. So I mean, you can, as I said, you can use this for other projects later on as well. So it could be good for that.
Maybe in summer course they need to start another project, and in this case you have enough jumper wires.
Yeah. I might have mentioned that this was a subject for change, this list. However, it is not changed. It's the same as last year. So it was just Frederick who said, he always want to he always want to change things. So he said that, maybe we are going to try out a new platform. That's why I said hold in Slack, that just hold and wait until Thursday. Then we know. And now we know. We will go with this one the same we did last year. The year before that, I think we actually allowed Raspberry Pis, but that doesn't make it so Internet of Thing. It's more like you have one computer talking to another computer. So this will get you more into like having smaller units that are not that power consuming and using them then you can actually place a thing like this in a plant, in a window with just a battery, and it will work for quite some time on just battery. If you were supposed to do that with a Raspberry Pi, you would need a real power supply to be able to do that. So this list is updated. So you can go ahead and order this. As I said, you can use ElectroKit, but there are many sites. And I mean, at least for campus students, you can, of course, place an order together if you like. So please feel free to do that in any way. And the total cost will be below 200. So I don't think that will be a problem. Did you have any problems, Neda, last year with like sensors breaking, or like if you connect something wrong, the whole Raspberry Pi burns or something like that?
Yeah, there are a couple of students that they burn out the either sensor or Pico. So please, little bit careful when you are wiring. You are doing wiring. Some of them, they didn't have soldered header, so they came here and they did soldering. That is a little bit tricky to do. So you need some expert. I explained in the course how you need to do it, and gave some tips how to do. But maybe it's the thing that should be very, very accurate. And then Pico connection to the temperature and humidity. Sometimes everything works. I mean, it works as it should be, but maybe it's the connection or the wiring that some wires that they are not working. Maybe, you never know where is the problem. But you need to test, and it's better to have, maybe to have more than, for example, wires that you need, or I would not recommend more Pico.
No.
but be careful when you are doing wiring.
Yeah. You could basically buy two temperature sensors.
Exactly.
They are 39, so it's not that expensive.
Either by this and with the one that it is mounted on a board with the resistor, it's okay. You can work
buy one of both, maybe.
The thing is that I need to mention something. This is very important. This when we are going to try to get it to turn on this onboard LED, when it is a Pico W, we have this chip, is connected internally to the pin 25. So when they are going to write the code for this one, it just is different from the one that doesn't have the chip, and there they need to mention this pin that is 25. But for this one, they don't need, because it's internally connected to the RP2040. So please watch out when you are going to use the writing your code, and use the library that is needed for DHT11 and get the correct one.
Yep.
So yeah, all the stuff are explained in the course. Hopefully it's straightforward. And for the IDE for writing the code, sometimes for summer course we mentioned about the Tony, but sometimes I am working with VS Code, and in the course it is by VS Code. So if you are using VS Code, then you will have two types of the what is called this one framework to upload the code for this Pico. Either it can be Pico Go W that I am teaching in the course, or it can be PyMaker. Both of them you can use and it will work. It's just make it easy that how you can upload the code and see the files that exist on your code, and make it easier. Otherwise there's no way to upload your code here in the Pico and get it to run. So I wanted to say that there are different kind of framework or add-in extension that you can add and work with this Pico.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. Thank you. Another question regarding the USB. I guess it doesn't matter if it's USB-A or USB-C in
no,
one.
it's not USB-C.
You could probably have USB-C as long as it's micro USB in the Pico end. But I think the most common micro USB cable is probably a micro USB to a USB-A. But if you only have USB-C on your computer, it's probably easier to just buy a USB-C to micro USB cable. Good. I think that is it, Neda, for now. So what we just want to say now, you are not supposed to start working with the IoT course in any way, but you need to kind of just order stuff. Probably, I mean, if everything works, it should only take like a couple of days to get the things home. So it's probably not a rush. However, we have been in this situation that, I mean, if we look back a few years, we have all the supply issues. Raspberry Pi was heavily impacted by that. After COVID, it was kind of a mess, and we learned the hard way that it's important to place the orders early if the hardware is important for you. So that's why we are kind of already now starting to talk about something that will happen like 12 weeks or something like that, to 15 weeks from now. But make sure to order so you have the stuff at home. That's what I need to say. But you don't need to order today. You can do it next week or the week after that, but please do it before we start the IoT part of the course.
Yes.
Good. Anything else, Nina?
No, hopefully they enjoy the materials that I have prepared for them. And then if there is something that is unclear for them, please contact me via Slack, or you are welcome here. All of us, we are here in the IoT lab. If you have problem by connection, you cannot get it to work, or you have problem by soldering, you couldn't provide it for yourself, then here we can help you if you want.
And you will also be a part. I mean, we will have the weekly vlogs, and we will have a proper introduction to to the IoT part when time comes. So
Yes, just don't stuck on something. If you tried many times and you don't know, just ask me. I am here, available online, and will help you.
ja,
Yes.
perfect. Thank you Neda, and thank you all. Och jag tänker att ja, vi har hållit på i precis 45 minuter, så det blir ju jättebra. Så då
Precis.
önskar vi alla lycka till i kursen, och så hörs vi på en vlogg framöver. Ha det gott! Hej!
Ja. Hej då!